It is high time that I change my opinion on Brad Trevling, I think. Because every time that I describe Brad Trevling, I would always describe him as an average GM. The most 5 out of 10 GM that you've ever seen in your life. Like, he's not a terrible GM. He's not a 10 out of 10 GM. And listen, maybe when free agency hits, he absolutely destroys my perception of him. But I'm sorry, Brad Trevling has had a good couple of days, and he deserves credit where it is due. First we talk about the John Tavares contract, and the Leafs got a team-friendly deal where, God forbid, the player is going to outperform the deal. Excellent. You need that. Then you have Matthew Knies signing for a very similar contract to JJ Peterka. Peterka has a little bit more offensive capabilities, I do think, but Matthew Knies is physical. He's really good on the boards. He's decent defensively. He can penalty kill, and there's a little bit more added value. And might I add, he got the 6th year while JJ Peterka only signed for 5. This is just excellent, excellent stuff by Brad Trevling. And I'm going to go on to the Mitch Marner trade today. The saga is over. He's gone from Toronto, and we can move on with our lives. And a lot of people in the comments on Twitter or X are saying, wow, they only got Raw for Marner. And I'm like, guys, he was 1 day away from getting absolutely nothing. And the Maple Leafs just got a middle six center that's excellent defensively, can win faceoffs. He's not a star player, but he is a center for $3 million. He's only getting paid $3 million. This is excellent, excellent work by him, because now their center position is solidified with Matthews, Tavares, and Waugh down the middle. This is perfect. And now I'm going to stake my reputation on this, but one trade that I absolutely loved, it was the Maccelli trade. This is so underrated, and it's such a good value buy. This is the type of trade that Florida would make. Not necessarily that they would go after Maccelli because maybe they might not like that he's a small playmaker or whatever, but getting players that are undervalued. That's what you want to look at. Look when Florida got Forsling, right? When they got Forsling, nobody even, I think the Canucks drafted him in like the 5th round or something like that. Nobody even cared about that guy. Now he's a top pair defender. Now he's a Stanley Cup champion. See, here's the thing. When it comes to Maccelli, we already know what he can do. He scored 49 points in 60-odd games, and he scored 57 points in an 82-game season. I understand a lot of people might look at his recent history, but I look over his point per game in his career. He scores at an average rate of 50 points every single year. And might I add, last year he only had 13 minutes time on ice. So his ice time dropped off a cliff. If you give this guy 16, 17 minutes ice time with Matthew Knies, Nylander, Matthews, all of these guys, I'm predicting that he's going to score at least 55 points for the Toronto Maple Leafs next year. Now, is that going to replace Mitch Marner's offense? Of course it's not. But is it going to replace 50 to 60% of his playmaking offense? I don't think that's completely unreasonable to say. So they have done a really, really, really good job. And I'll tell you another thing. I don't think the Leafs are going to take nearly as much of a step back next season as people are saying. I think that this is a couple of really shrewd moves by Brad Trevling. It's funny, when you look at Maccelli, his even strength defense, I'll put the player card up on the screen right now. His even strength defense is about 49%. He's actually not that bad defensively either. So he's almost like a no-name version of Mitch Marner. Like he loves to make plays. He doesn't score that many goals, and he's like decent defensively. Although, to be fair, Mitch Marner is excellent defensively. He's elite defensively. Whereas Maccelli is, I would say, he holds his head above water defensive. Now, of these moves, which one did you like the most? Did you like Maccelli trade? Did you like the Mitch Marner saga coming to end? What about the signings? Or are you looking forward to possibly signings that are happening in the future on July 1st? And that's what we're going to be getting to now. Because Chris Johnson was on overdrive today, and once Brad Marchand signed, I truly do think that the Maple Leafs are going to have to make some adjustments. And he went on overdrive and said that Nikolai Ehlers has a lot of interest from Toronto, or that he is interested in coming to Toronto as well. Essentially saying that the player holds some appeal for Toronto. I actually love this, because if you were able to get Maccelli, you're able to get Ehlers. Honestly, you could argue that the Leafs might be better defensively if Maccelli works out, because you have Ehlers, you have Maccelli, you have a better center position. This actually could work out quite well. Now, that depends also on what they do. If they make a bunch of silly signings, we've heard about Mangiapane. I'm okay with that, but you have to have that guy outperform his contract. We did get more information that the Leafs may be interested in Tanner Jeannot. I'm okay with that. I do think that the Maple Leafs have to add one more top six forward. I think that's really, really important. You know, I think that they will be fine as they are. Like, they're still a playoff team. They have Matthew Nyes. They have Tavares performing at a high level. They have Nylander, Matthews. I think Maccelli is at least going to score 50 points. That should be enough to make the playoffs. Then you have a decent blue line, two good goalies. I think that they'll be fine. I think that they need a deep roster, especially with Florida re-signing Ekblad, Bennett, and Marchand. By the way, did you guys see that Marchand contract? That was outrageous. Like, what is that? This guy signed to 43 years old. My lord. I think that is an absolutely outrageous contract. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty excited to see what happens on July 1st. Definitely going to be posting a video tomorrow because I want to see exactly what's going to happen with all the Canadian teams. Anyways, I'm going to end the video here. If you can make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, guys. And make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.